Hello. Today we have another anime. So, the best assassin in the world was reborn in another world as an aristocrat, and we are again entering the territory of long names. In general, the anime begins with some kind of event where rich men buy young girls. We will skip it because YouTube does not like such topics. It is only important to know that the main characters penetrated here undercover and punished bad people. And we are introduced to the main character who is the best killer in the world. He is just doing his last task. There are philosophical conversations about him being just a weapon and not deciding who to live and who to die. They are attacked by the local military, but the grandfather quite cleverly escapes them together with his partner. There is another philosophical dialogue, and then the heroes announce that they are quitting the profession and switching to training the younger generation of killers. They get new documents and dumped to Japan. However, they did not manage to fly because the organization for which the grandfather works decided to get rid of him, and now the hero already meets a goddess who offers 2 chairs on the first ordinary rebirth in the same world, but without memories of a past life on the second rebirth in the world of sword and magic with preservation memories and skills. Grandfather chooses the second because he has something to lose. However, there is one condition after rebirth. He needs to kill the hero because after defeating the Demon King, he will go crazy and destroy this world. Grandfather as a whole does not mind, and the goddess allows him to choose 5 unique skills. Heroes choose fast recovery spell leveling, fast growth martial arts, and another secret skill, and he also gets an affinity with the 4 main elements in general. The creation of the character is completed. You can be reborn. Now his name is Layut Small, was born into a family of hereditary killers who secretly work for the royal family in general. It's convenient for us to skip time. The kid has already grown up and even do cool things like hunting. He cooks his own food to evenly pump his body, too. I'm a bodybuilder. Mom dotes on her son, and the father is proud of the talented kid in general. Everything is going well, but then we are waiting for a scene with Lou's training. I won't show you much, just know that the father in every way crumples the body of the kid's head, you see, so he can work out every part of his body. As a result, the kid is pumped to an acceptable level, and as a reward, a father performs an operation on his son's eyes so that he can see the mana flows of other people. This is something like their family secret technique. Some time passed, and Lou finally regained his eyesight, plus he got a cool skill, and then his future magic teacher, a girl named Idea Viscount, comes to our kid according to the classics of the genre. First of all, she checks the level of the magical power of the kid. Of course, he goes off the scale, and so much so that he blows up a ball that absorbs this very mana. Lou thought it would be nice to get such balls, but they say that only girls from her family can own them. Then training begins. The kid shows an affinity with the 4 elements, although usually people have no more than 2 of them, and then they learn to create various materials with spells. It's all terribly boring. So I'll just say that our kid is here. I figured out how the spell works and even created my own. And from a combination of such spells, he can now make both edged weapons and firearms, such as rifle. Well, okay, let's say. And all this time, his teacher, who was the eldest kid for only 3 years, slept in the same bed with him, and in short, the guys fell in love with each other. Although I will remind you that Lou is a reborn killer grandfather, but this is so by the way. The hero makes a promise to the girl that he will come to her aid when she wants it very much, and that's where the training ends. Dia goes home, and the kid is waiting for a training session with his father. He will have to commit the first murder so that it will be easier later, and our hero easily kills the criminal, who was sentenced to execution anyway. So the noble family walks around their city and does all sorts of things. Again, nothing interesting. Only the mother somehow sticks too much to her son, but that's okay. You'll see this video until the end. There will be a joke at all. Meanwhile, Lou decided to hunt and get meat for the winter in the forest. He meets a girl who was attacked by wolves. The boy decides that this is a great chance to test his skills and easily deals with woolen ones. Then Lou warmed and fed the girl. It turns out her name is Tart, and she is from a neighboring country where everything is very bad. There was little food, and she was simply kicked out of at home. Our kid listened to her story, then looked at her with his magical vision and decided that she was an ideal candidate for assistance, since she had a fairly large supply of magical power. The guy has applied all his neuro-linguistic programming skills and now she is his faithful servant and is waiting for another time pass. The guys have grown up. Dart has grown into a beautiful maid girl, and the kid just got a little taller, but he inherited strange training methods from Bataille. So the naked Tarta is also forced to go to a dark room. What the hell? Stop with this. The children are also watching me. Physically, the girl is quite strong, but she has problems with the skills of a killer. In fact, she is only good with a spear. So Lou created for her a folding spear that can be secretly worn on her leg. And yes, Tar also sleeps with the hero in the same bed. This is a local feature. A little more time passes, and it's time to fight with Dad. It's like a battle of two minds. But to be honest, it was so boring that any adequate person would have squandered this moment in short. The kid won, and Dad recognized him as a family member. And then it was different before that. Okay, it's almost time for classes. Dad and son in clothes from the cosplay festival run around the Queen and kill all sorts of bad money. Then it's time for a dinner party at which the father decides to announce that Lou is the next heir of the family. Only one guy was outraged, who fuck understand who, but he was supposed to become the head after the death of the first son of the family. Our hero quickly defeated the unknown and proved his coolness, and then made a cunning move approach this type after dinner and said, "You were a cool knight." Served me in, the guy agreed, because what else to do? Well, now it's time to create fake personalities. Dad offers the kid to become a merchant. They are loved and quite easily allowed to attend all sorts of social events. Lou dyes his hair, puts on glasses, now he's a different person, and meanwhile, he meets a girl named Maha who breeds suckers for money. She moves not alone, but together with her friends, and together, they are orphans who survive as best they can. However, a gang of 5 girls is a pretty easy target for local bandits, so they're caught and taken to a very unpleasant place where the girls are first forced to work around it. House and sew things, and then they sell all sorts of vile men for flat pleasures. Since Mach is the youngest of them, she was saved for last. Well, she turns a little over a year old, and the gang leader is ready to sell her, and none other than our hero buys her innocence and announces that now this girl is part of her family. Although the bandits wanted to sneeze at this one and tried to provide the girl at the first opportunity for which they paid, the whole gang of their clients were arrested and took away the blunder itself, our main character. The guys got to a neighboring town where our hero plays the role of the illegitimate son of a rich merchant. He needs to create a business and organize a spy network. The boy decides that most of the rumors are generated in stores for women. He creates a moisturizer that has never existed in this world before and opens his first store. The manager appoints a blunder and takes her as an employee friends. Well, success is guaranteed. They were still trying to attack them there, but the girls caught the killer and worked a couple of tortures on him. And yes, now 2 girls are already sleeping with our hero. So everything is fine in the store. Yamaha decides to expand the network to other cities and then countries. Lou does not mind, and the girls fully trust her, especially since it is important for her because her family used to own a similar business well before they were killed. It's always the same. Here, our hero returns to his homeland. With Tant, they're waiting for a conversation with Dad, who says that there is still a chance not to choose the life of a killer, but to remain a merchant. The kid thought a little remembered that he still has a hero to kill, plus he wants to marry Dia, and for the you need to be a nobleman, so Lou tells Dad that he will remain a murderer of the family. Dad threw respect to his son and gave him the first task to eliminate a nobleman who secretly distributes banned substances. Lou instructs Mahisa to collect information on this type, and in the meantime, a mother who terribly wants grandchildren to not listen to all this has got to the hero. The boy goes to investigate to check what prohibited substances are being sold there. He and Tant quickly stumble upon a dealer who, under the guise of jam, offers drugs to the hero of everyone from the pencil case, and saw that the nobleman was creating lawlessness. Then there is a conversation with Match that 2 girls are in love with him and it's time to respond to their feeling. To which the kid says he loves Dia. Mach hints to him that, in general, they agree for the role of mistresses, and I'm like this. So everyone stopped, and we condemn this guys in the image of merchants penetrate the house to their goal. And we understand that a person does it for money and a wife, mainly for the sake of a wife, but still. Well, at night he kills a nobleman with a shot to the head. His wife is crying, and our hero does not feel very well because the type was not obviously a bad person like all the villains before. But he is embraced by Tant and everything goes comfortably at once. Then we are waiting for a mini-beat episode that is so plot-wise important, but we will still miss it because that beach episodes are not very. Our hero arrives to visit Dia Yes, he can fly, which is surprising. And by the way, he visited her throughout the anime. I just forgot to mention it. Lou tells her lover that it would be necessary to dump so her duchy entered the war, to which the girl replies that she will not abandon her people, and it is quite difficult to escape. So instead, the couple goes on a date we will all miss, especially the scene at the hot spring. In general, the day is coming to an end, and our heroes are saying goodbye, and we suddenly realize that something is wrong here. Lou comes home, where Dad immediately piles up expositions in general. Once upon a time, the Viscount's family lost in the war. They paid huge reparations and helped rebuild the city, but the nobles generally flew off the rails and demanded to give them more Ndea. After all, she is from a very noble family and even has magic. Her children will be legendary. Father Dewey as a whole agreed to these conditions, but the people rebelled against the transfer of their precious mistress and staged a riot. And now the nobles sent an army to take the girl by force in general. The royal family could sort out the situation. But on the side of the nobility is fighting a man who may have the title of hero. He is a strong Capets, so he broke the balance of power. Lou decides to save the girl by faking her death, and Dad tells his son that Dia is his cousin. She is from the same family as his mother, in short. The boy gets to the duchy with a rifle, kills all of the magicians, then throws those balls with magical energy instead of grenades, and in the confusion breaks into the castle where Dia and her father are already waiting for him. They agree to arrange the death of the day, and it would seem that everything is fine. But then the same type of hero named Satanta appears. Of course, any person with an IQ of more than 5 realized that this is not a hero, but let's pretend that we don't know anything type with one blow destroy. The floor of the castle, Lou shoots back from a howitzer, but only barely wounds the second. Apparently this fool is not so easy to defeat. Plus, he has a legendary weapon in the form of a flying spear, but there is nowhere to retreat, so you need to come up with a new plan. Lou calls the dude to fight, but before that, he launches some kind of thing into the sky. If our hero wins, the army of the nobility will not touch anyone and just leave. And if Lou loses, they will take away, wear, and kill all the locals. Sounds like a shitty alignment, but let's say the kid is stalling for something with all his might. And so they toss the coin as soon as it touches the ground. The fight begins, the coin hits the ground, and a powerful explosion occurs. It turns out our assassin created an orbital rocket, launched it, and aimed it directly at the second. Don't ask how it happened. He just mixed his skills and something blah, blah, blah wasn't listening. Dia is saved, the guys are kissing, and now she will live with our hero as his younger sister, as she visually looks younger. Plus, she is really his cousin. Do not forget about it, even though they have already kissed, so I don't care. At the end, they show us a real hero, but I hope that we will not see the continuation, since this is a very stupid anime. No, of course I've seen anime and worse, but the idea with the rebirth of the killer is very cool, but the performance that I saw here disappointed me. Well, at least the girls are cool and short. I don't recommend watching. My retelling will be more than enough. And by the way, everything from you. As usual, likes, subscriptions, comments from me, a new video. We'll definitely still see you on this one. Bye.